So if you ask an Apple user why they won't switch or even consider switching from Apple to Android, they usually give you three main answers. The first one is AirDrop, the second one is that ecosystem, and then lastly, it's that blue bubble versus green bubble in iMessage. And a few years ago, Apple introduced this idea of new word effects, and you guys might know about these effects already and how to bring them up, but I bet you didn't know that certain key phrases and word phrases are actually secret ways to actually bring up those word phrases automatically. And in this video, what I want to do is bring up how to actually bring up those word effects in the normal intended way, but then also in that secret way that I mentioned with specific word phrases. So without further ado, let's get into it. So let's get started with this video, everybody. I'm gonna bring up the iPhone right here, and I'm gonna walk you through all the steps you need to take to both not only manually do all these new phrase effects or these message effects, but then also how to show you how to automatically and secretly bring these up. But first off, if you guys aren't aware, let's bring it up and show you how to do it manually. So I'm gonna bring up messages on my phone right here. Let's go into this text chat right here, and it's actually very, very simple. So let's say I wanna type in hello there. All you have to do to summon up these manual ways of actually bringing up these effects is you long press on the send button. When you long press on the send button, you get two options right here. The first option you have here is under bubble, and that is what the first tab is here. And then on the right hand side, you have slam, loud, gentle, and then invisible ink. So if you click on any of these, that means it's going to, again, add an effect to the bubble itself. So if I want to press slam, you can see that it shows you a preview of what it's going to look like. If you press loud, it's going to shake it and make it bigger. If you press gentle, it's going to be a small little text box with a larger actual bubble. And then lastly, you have the invisible ink, which I think is one of my favorite ones because it shows up in this little pixelated feature, like pixies kinda, and then you just swipe across once you send it, and it'll show exactly what you're hiding. But just to give you an example, I'm gonna press the slam one, we're gonna press right there again, and then it sends as a slam, and then you see the effect that happens to the rest of the chat. Kind of moves everything out of the way. And I'm going to show you guys some other ones. So if I long press again on the actual send button, we'll go to invisible ink, we'll press that one, you can see that it shows up right here. So it shows up not only in this little pixelated pixie form on my end, but then on the other end it does as well. And the only way to actually see what's going on there is to take your finger and swipe across it to remove those. So if I type in something long, let's say I'm going over here, I'm typing something long, and you can see that over here it's actually the same effect because I'm kind of texting myself. But if I type in a long paragraph, then press on this long section right here, go to invisible ink again, press send, you can actually move and just do certain pieces of it as well. And I like that because, again, it just gives you this sense of like mystery when sending these iMessages. So overall, this is one of my favorite bubble effects overall. But let's just do the other ones just to show you guys for test's sake. So we do the gentle one, we send that over. You can see that it shows up in this tiny little font over here, and then eventually it goes back to the normal font. And you can see over here on the left-hand side, which is what my other phone is getting as well. And you can see that you can press replay as well. So you can actually replay that effect as many times as you want. And I believe it's under 2 minutes. So once you open it, you have 2 minutes to replay it as many times as you want. And then after the fact, you can't do that. So let's go to the last one. We'll type last one in, long press on the send, go to loud, press send on that one, and you can see that it just gives you one big version of the text box that is very, very loud, and it shows on both sides as well. So now let's go over to that other tab. So we'll press again, hello there, our favorite phrase, we'll long press on there, and then we go to the screen effects. So screen effects are exactly what it sounds like. So you have the ability to actually set up the entire screen. So you have echo, and the way to actually navigate these is to swipe right and left. So on the bottom, you can actually see some dots on the phone itself. You have the echo effect, you have the spotlight effect, you have the balloons effect, you have the confetti effect, you have this heart effect, the laser effect, send with fireworks, send with celebration, and that's the last one there. So if I want to go, and let's go to the first one over here, which is the echo effect, we'll press send on there, and then it actually sends with echoes all around. And what's cool about this is that with some of these, there's actually really nice haptic feedback. We all know that iPhones have great haptics overall. So let's say I want to type in hello with an exclamation, we'll long press on that, go to the screen, we'll go to the actual, let's say, to the confetti, we press send, and then when the confetti drops, there's actually a nice little haptic feedback from the phone that makes it feel like there's actual confetti on the screen, which is very, very cool. And again, same thing applies. You can press replay, and the confetti drops down again. So let's do a couple more. We'll test over here. We'll long press on this one. We'll go to the screen. We'll swipe all the way to the right, maybe get one of these that actually has the fireworks. We'll press send. And then there are the fireworks on the entire screen. It's a beautiful thing to see. So overall, these are the manual ways to do it, and this can be done with anything. So it's not just with text. So for instance, if I want to actually grab an emoji, do a couple flexes, smiles, cries, long press on here, you can actually do that with the bubble effect, and you can also do it with the screen effect. So if I want to do, let's say I want to do the echo, which is my favorite one because it gives you the emojis across the entire screen. I think that's really, really cool. We'll swipe this down. press replay, and you can see that the emojis take up the entire screen. And to make this even more funny, if you actually go into your messages, go into this image section right here, you actually have a bunch of GIFs or GIFs. Leave a comment down below how you guys actually pronounce it. Is it GIF like a gift, or is it GIF like Jiffy, like the actual peanut butter? But if I go in here and do this Will Smith one, it shows up there. I can long press, and the effects work with pretty much anything that's inside of this text box. So if I go into the screen, you can see Will Smith is all over the screen. The actual spotlight works, the balloons work, everything works how it's intended to, even though it isn't just a text box, which I love to do. So if it's somebody's birthday, I always do a funny GIF or GIF and do this so it kind of shows up on their screen, and it's very, very funny. So it takes up the entire screen, and it's a good way to kind of make somebody laugh on the other end, and also make yourself laugh at the same time. So now that we know how to manually bring up all those word effects, the GIF effects, the photo effects, all that good stuff, now let's talk about the secret way to bring some of these up. So Apple has included some key word phrases that whenever you type these in, it actually allows you to bring up these effects automatically, which I think is a very cool little Easter egg. So the first one I'm going to show you is Happy New Year. So if you type in Happy New Year, it does have to be in all caps, and you have to have an exclamation point at the end of it. So if I type in Happy New Year, if I can figure that out, press send, it should give me the firework effect on both sides. So the firework effect automatically shows up. I didn't have to go and long press on the send button and go to manually add that effect. So Happy New Year is one of those key phrases, and there aren't too many, so we're gonna go through all of them. The next one is actually one of my favorite ones because it is a celebration firework. So if you type in Happy Chinese New Year with an exclamation point, send that in, then you get the actual top right firework effect, which I think is awesome. So I love this effect. This is one of my favorite ones. Highly recommend trying that one out, but that is one of the new ones and one of the key specific phrases that works with Happy Chinese New Year. So if we continue on our list of these secret Easter egg phrases, the next one is Happy Birthday. And if you guessed it, leave a comment down below what you guys think is gonna come up if I type in Happy Birthday. This works both with and without the exclamation point. So we'll type it without it, we'll press send, and then we should get the balloons coming from the bottom. So if you guys guessed that right, give yourself a little pat on the back. One thing that I will say is if you type in, the short version of Happy Birthday, like Happy B-Day or HBD, it does not work at all. So you do have to type in the actual words Happy Birthday with or without the exclamation to get the balloons to take into effect. And now let's start to round this off. The next one is actually congrats or congratulations. So if I type in congrats, we should get the confetti to come up. Yes, it does. If we type in congratulations, the confetti should pop up again. Let's see if it does, and it does pop up again if I just give it a second. So congrats or congratulations does work. And then another cool thing, which I think is very inclusive by Apple, is if you type in congratulations in another language, it actually should bring it up. So felicitaciones, which is in Spanish, congratulations, it brings it up, and it works with a bunch of different languages. So if you guys want to try that out and see if it works in your language, by all means do that, and then let me know in the comments down below if your language does allow for this little Easter egg for these confettis to drop when it comes to congratulations. And then the last one that we have is probably my favorite one. So if you type in pew pew, which should bring up the laser, so pew pew is probably what they're actually trying to figure out there, but it does bring up this little laser effect, which I think is kind of funny and it's pretty cool. So definitely try that one out if you guys want to try that out, because you don't have to manually add that in, even though you can manually add that action. So that's going to do for this video, everybody. I just wanted to show you guys these effects of the word effects, the bubble effects, because I think it's a nice little feature that Apple gave us, especially with these Easter egg word phrases, which I actually didn't even know existed. So definitely stay tuned, because if this does get enough interest, I will continue to talk about iMessage, because there's a lot that makes iMessage so good. And there are a bunch of reasons why iMessage is one of those things that really locks you into Apple's ecosystem and makes you not want to leave iOS, iPadOS, or macOS, For example, you have all these applications over here, which are right above, which you can download a bunch from, right? There's applications that let you play games. You have your Emojis, your stickers, the images that is built in there. You have your digital touch, so you can send like a heartbeat over there if you have your Apple Watch and things like that. Apple Cash is something that goes through there. The fitness, you have audio, the Apple Store. So there's a bunch of different things that you can do on here, and that's not even including like the reactions, the reply in threads, the undo edit. So iMessage in its own right is becoming a very powerful tool to communicate, and there's a reason why I said that people like to stick with iOS and the Apple ecosystem, and iMessage is probably one of the top two in my opinion, right? You have this, you have AirDrop, which is one of my favorite things to use, and then secondly, you just have the interconnectivity of all the hardware and software talking to each other. But like I said, that's going to do it for this video. Leave a comment down below if you guys knew any of this stuff. Leave a comment down below what your favorite text effect is and which one you use most often. Very curious to know. And then also, if you do speak a different language, I'm very curious to know if these effects work in a different language. So also comment that down below, everybody. But that's going to do it. If you guys want to watch some more iOS, iPadOS, or macOS content, click on one of these right here. But until next time, I'm Fernando, and I'm out of here. Peace.